Tribe versus Elevate. On the one side, we have the stem of Luffy and RBM alongside Diego Gamer. And then on the other side, Reddy, Vegeta, Ducky, and OG are kind of old and new in one team united.
I really want to say 3 different generations of Brawl Stars esports talent. I think Vegeta could be a little bit more in the middle for us to say that with utmost confidence. We'll have Ducky first selecting the Mortis over here. He's the wonder kid for the squad. I expect they're going to be putting him on the more high execution brawlers, the ones that are more mechanically demanding.
Yeah, Mortis was a really good pick, especially knowing that your enemy team just banned and Spike, right? So you can basically, your counters are out. So yeah, I mean, at this point, try me to go for the only mid counter that's possible against the Mortis, which is the Charlie, and the Rico is good overall, as you said before. So it's a good start for them.
Yeah, I already mentioned the Rico before, has always been a mainstay in Hard Rock Mine. Mortis is one of those buffy brawlers we've seen quite often. I do believe Charlie's also picked up here as a direct counter to Pierce. He's been left open, and he's such a good gem carry at the moment, though he struggles a bit with the spiders from Charlie. I would still like to see a Ruffs come out here, maybe, kind of the equivalent to Rico. Gus or Max could be good mid picks here to carry those gems. Max is going to come out here and go alongside that Mortis for Elevate.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we see the Elevate with much more aggro composition. They need still a pretty much a standard lane, I would say. That they're not going to go for the full aggro because they need at least one lane to hold, right? If not, can be super chaotic, and Max can maybe not come back in the mid if they lose it once, the control. So I expect them to go for more like Sandy. Yeah, that's something that is hard to lose the lane, right? Also help a lot with the vision. If you lose the control, you guys can put the super and you came back to the mid. So yeah, that's pretty important for them.
Final section now coming in from Tribe. They're going to be facing, okay, very interesting. So this is the response to Mortis. This is how they want to take him down. They already have a couple of brawlers with strong CC. Then you also have Rico, who should be holding down one of the lanes. It'll be a pretty miserable matchup for Sandy, all things considered. But it looks like the mindset here from Elevate is they just want this Mortis to succeed no matter what. They've gotten rid of some of the core counters for it. They've also picked up things that will be counters to it as well. Just a little swap over here, but Ducky predictably is staying on that Mortis because he just needs to have the high execution brawler.
Yeah, the combo of Elevate is much easier to apply, right? You just have a really good synergy to all of you. Can just speed and go full aggros, and it will super a lot. So yeah, let's see how they can commit.
RBM looking to get that super for free from Ducky, lurking over on the right side. You have Luffy dominating the left side on one of his signature brawlers, Rico. I have heard from people who face Luffy's Rico that this guy just gets on low HP, on Rover Retreat, and never lets go of that speed. It's an early trade on the side of Tribe Gaming. They're losing positioning right here. Luffy's going to try and be the hero, make an aggro play. No dice on a Vegeta. Did get him back pretty far.
Yeah, we see Vegeta getting all the early gems. That's really good for them because RBM at any moment of the game can come and reverse sweep. So it's really important that you get all your gems before the game goes too long and you have more than 1-2 chances to make it.
Elevate looked like they could be trapped in a spawn trap. Luffy has a strong position over here on the left side. Ducky rooted to the spot. Now here comes a sandstorm. Elevate running out of options. They got to use their utility now. And Ducky is going to find his avenue up towards the left lane using it. Gets that one done with the swipe. Still has the super on the sidelines when he wants to use it. It's OG pushing forward super aggressively, but now RBM's determined to go Spider-Man mode all the way to the side of OG, then wrap around to the left. Ducky has to stay out of position. Diego Gamer with an excellent read on position. Moves Elevate back into their ramparts once more, but they do have the gem lead.
Yeah, I mean, Elevate, oh, that was insane from RBM. Maybe can run away with the gems. Maybe he can get the kill, but Luffy can get the gem and run away. No, that's really good from Luffy. He can hold the gems. Now the gems are not in the same player, though. That's a bit risky, but they got the countdown. Tribe don't have time to stop it, so let's see if they can get the kill.
Unfortunate mishap there for Diego Gamer. Looks like he's just one shot off of his super, or a couple, because he did pop his hypercharge earlier. Vegeta's going to tank that. Only a few seconds to go. Need a hero play to get this countdown interrupted. There's one, but it's all picked up by Vegeta. Ducky also shuts down Diego. Elevate once more find themselves safe and sound, and this time they're even further guarded by the Sandy super. Only a few seconds to go, and RBM just doesn't have any tools in the toolkit. Got a super for free. It's going to take an interruption, a takedown on Ducky, but there's just no move. It's game one, Elevate.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really good game from both. with that max, Elevate need to get the early games right, because if not, once they are pushed forward back, it's really hard for them to break through. They will always need either a max speed or a Sandy Sandstorm, and if you don't have it, can be really hard to break through, and you can lose so many gems and they can get the tie. So Elevate need to go aggro at the start so they get enough gem before they get trapped behind.
The tricky part is finding that matchup. Ducky knows where all of the opponents are now, so he can move in. Doesn't want to feed RBM super too much, but might not have a choice as RBM continues to creep forward. Ducky in for just one swipe and then out. You see him running Coiled Snake as well. He's not determined to chain. He's looking for isolated kills. Tried to dodge that gadget from Luffy, but no dice. RBM nearly chained the super onto Vegeta, but still couldn't get it. Elevate. We're going to be matched on the gem count now. Diego Gamer picks up number 3, and he has a CC ready for the next push-in for Mortis.
I think with all the aggression of Elevate, the win condition of Tribe is pretty much RBM, right, with that bath. So they need kind of to ignore him, don't feed him, just you don't get the hyper. We saw how he almost get 7 gems out with that super. So they need to be really careful, just forget about him, ignore him, so they can get the lead and finish the game as soon as possible.
Well, Ducky's trying his best to ignore the buzz, actually manages to find himself out of that sticky situation on the right side. He's got a super at his disposal now, could use it to force a super out of Diego Gamer. Instead decides to farm Luffy. This is the spawn trap right here. They don't have to get the gem carrier. They just need to keep the stalemate going at Tribe Gaming's bushes. And it's looking good so far. Ducky goes for another set of double bats, but cannot get it secured. Luffy now on low HP. Storming the enemy side, OG is going to find himself taken down. Same goes for Vegeta, and there's just no one to bring it back.
That was a really good push. They used the opportunity where Morty was a bit weak, and now they are coming with everything. They have 2 hypercharge that Max just used, and it's Morty alone. Can he get a kill?
Well,
the cocoon is really hard.
Yeah, just no good right there in the final few seconds. Just everyone from Elevate fell at the same time. It all crumbled. As soon as Buzz used his super, was able to get a couple of chain stuns, that's when it fell apart. That is what Tribe Gaming know. And this is, of course, what you were referencing, Pedro, where they just have to stay away from this Buzz, man. They cannot keep feeding this Buzz. They are so vulnerable towards it. But I got to give shout-outs where they're due. Ducky was doing a phenomenal job of keeping control in Tribe Gaming's bushes with Mortis.
Yeah, but if you can realize, it's really interesting how both teams rely on ignoring the enemy aggro, right?
Yes.
You ignore the Mortis in the case of Tribe. One he's low or one he needs to heal up, or especially if you get a kill, is when you can push, you can get all the gems and do the reverse sweep.
And it just goes to show there's so many different ways you can play Hard Rock Mine, where look how disjointed things are. Tribe Gaming setting up really high. Previously, Ducky was sitting in the spawn. It's going to be an aggressive kill for RBM. It's fine. He'll be able to get back to the brawl really easily. He's an assassin, after all, and he has free mobility. The speed in from Elevate, but it doesn't really amount to much. It's a bit of a backup from Tribe Gaming. It's really just Ducky taking up that space that Tribe Gaming had to forfeit. Went for the bats, but couldn't get it. RBM is going to look for this kill here. Could stun him. Went for it just in the nick of time to stun him on the obstacle. And now Tribe Gaming get control of mid back once more. They'll be shoved back a bit by the Sandy Sandstorm. And Luffy dropping, it means that they will have to concede control.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how Luffy now is going a bit more aggro with that Rico, right? He already got an hypercharge, is his third super already in the game, and that grant Diego Gamer all the gems, right? So it's really important that they push together so they can get the gem right. It's not like, I'm longer in the games, you need to help me, yes, help me, you put the pressure on the side so I get the gems so I win the game.
Well, that pressure's missing now. At least OG has a super to get Diego Gamer to move away. Ducky now swipes into position, but here comes the dagger. Is that enough? RBM with a hypercharge only gets 1 kill. Luffy looks for another, but doesn't have enough left in the tank to try and secure a kill onto Vegeta. Vegeta is really aggressive on low HP, is punished by Diego Gamer, stopping his healing for a moment. It's fine. Elevate can find their footing once more. It's 8-8 on the gem count. Once more, Ducky decides to ignore the aggro from Tribe Gaming. Goes for the double bats, cannot chain them onto Diego Gamer, and it's again the aggression from RBM that moves Elevate back into their spawn.
Yeah, it's insane how much time can that path makes up there, right? There is still 1 gem to done, so Elevate is not able to stop the counter. Probably Mortis will touch on it. He will not. He did. It's really good for him. So they have the second chance to stop it. But it's going to just be a fight, and whoever gets the kills here is going to get all the gems.
Incredible countdown interrupted right at the 11th hour. Elevate now have the control. It's Ducky using the gadget to get a kill. RBM now Spider-Manning around to Ducky. Gets it once more. All of those gems back in Tribe Gaming's clutches, and simply nothing to interrupt Buzz, this Galaxy Brain final selection from Tribe Gaming. They were ready. They practiced restraint. Oh man, Diego has to take a deep breath there. That was a real stressful set.
Yeah, I mean, we could see how Tribe did a mix of team play and skill, right? It was about team play, about control, getting the control, don't let that Mortis, they were really pinching that Mortis on the back, and especially when they have the chance, they ignore the Mortis completely. RBN pop that purple button, or even with normal super, just they need to help all together on the push, and they rob all the gems.
Take a look back at that also, because this one went all the way to game 3. What a set right there. It was Ducky tearing it up as Mortis, but I think it was really just bested by RBM on this Buzz. In the final few seconds there, where it looked like Elevate were already going to run away with game number 1, a messy interaction for Tribe Gaming handed it to the side of Elevate. But then we saw Tribe Gaming come back with a series of Buzz plays, pretty much. It was 1 kill over there, Luffy finished up the kill, ran back with his additional speed. There is a reason he has a reputation for Robo Retreat.
If this match was anything, then it was chaotic, and it promised a lot. I want to see more of that, of those two teams. It was super, super close. Tribe Gaming in the end runs away with that victory, but it was a hard-fought battle. We also saw that at Diego Gamer's reaction of the match. Looking at the stats here, just about from the boss, we got a little bit of a better stat overall there. By the way, the Tribe Gaming names are going to be adjusted in a second. Those are still the names they usually go with during the season, and they like to troll with the casters a little bit.
Yeah, they like to become Clash Royale players for a brief moment here. So Surgical Goblin, who is obviously RBM, put up an insane 17 kills. But this is when I say they went tit for tat, right? Ducky fell just a little bit short on the execution there, and fell behind, just trailed by a single kill there. We are watching two ridiculously mechanically gifted players go head-to-head. Ducky is truly the unknown here. This is his competitive debut. There's a reason he's put on the Mortis, but there's a reason that RBM is the center point of this Tribe Gaming squad when it comes to aggressive assassin plays.
I was kind of looking forward to seeing a Trunk, maybe a Buzz. That was what they went with in the end. And yes, at least we always know who's RBM, because he's usually the guy on the tanks, right? We're now heading into Super Beach, second map here. We're on Brawl Ball. Mina's left open, of course. She's immediately picked up Mo as well. Some pure aggression coming out of Tribe Gaming here. Mo, of course, is also one of those so-called flex brawlers that can play at a little bit of a longer range. Both of them not the perfect matchup into that Shelly, though.
Yeah, but that Shelly is a really good first pick, especially when you have Spike and Cordelius ban, right? You can expect less than a tank from minimum a tank from Tribe, so you already have the best anti-tank open, really good in this map. You just you are already safe at the start of the draft. But yeah, that's Mina and that Mo are not the best against the Shelly, but are really, you have a lot of goal condition with those two, and you are it's a good start also. Yeah.
Getting a bit of deja vu here. We saw Shelly picked up a bit early in the draft yesterday. It was paired up with a tank, Frank specifically, and it just didn't work out because it got outranged for the entire time. Noticing that Poco's biggest counter B is also permitted in this draft, and that could be coming in. We'll see if it's the mid selection. Sometimes it trails behind the rest of the team in terms of aggression. We'll see Kenji, the final selection from Elevate. And now it's time for Tribe to respond. What do you do against this raw aggression that is present in Kenji? The counter, the biggest one, already taken away in Shelly, and of course the backup support from Poco.
Yeah, I mean, without that Kenji, I would say a thrower for sure, right? A Willow we have seen working really good in this map. Now with the Kenji, it's much harder, except if you really want to risk it and do really quick swaps, right? Just put the thrower running away from the Kenji, but they go for the RT. I think it's not the best. I think it's really hard to hit those bullets on the Poco. The Poco can really dodge you good and rush you really hard. And if you are in the spawn, maybe RT can suffer a bit.
RT, another one of those flex brawlers, is good at long range and then close and comfy. Works out against the Kenji and Poco, maybe also not the best into Shelly. So Ducky should have a pretty good matchup. Never mind, OG is going to take the Shelly. He's going to have a pretty good matchup here all across the board. Now we'll see if Tribe Gaming can extend their lead in this map number 2 ready.
I mean, it's really interesting because in the previous map we saw this really aggro come from Elevate, and they are gonna pull this tool again. In Hard Rock was really hard to make that work, and didn't play bad. So I think they can do it this time.
Here comes the double prong push on the right side. It's Ducky and Vegeta teaming up to isolate Luffy, doing his best to escape. Ooh, a bit of a messy super for OG. You never want to be breaking open your own goal when you're the one with the wall break. Diego Gamer gets an kill on the right side. Yeah.
That was fire from Diego Gamer. He really used that super really good. He has still already the purple button, right? He has the hyper chat. That's a really easy goal if you get the super soon. Probably he's playing the gadget of getting the feeling faster, so they can just need to wait just a bit, get my Diego feed, and we'll just pass a goal easy, score easy goal.
Diego Gamer not yet at a super, but he does have that hypercharge, which is going to make him awesome for defeating Vegeta when he has that moment. Luffy's going to look for the stun. Weird interaction as the ball bounces back and forth, but a team wipe is always a good sign for Tribe Gaming. At least they'll run down the clock a little bit before slotting this one in and putting themselves 1 goal in the lead. Now, what are they going to do about Vegeta when he inevitably uses his hypercharge super? Ducky's just going to have to find himself in position before this one can be utilized. But it looks like RBM's plan is to go ahead and use this hypercharge. Looks for 1 kill. Vegeta doesn't have a response at all.
Yeah, I mean, the RT, he's working really good. I actually remember screaming against Strife, and they have the RT everywhere.
Yeah.
And what's really cool, they know how to make this work, and they are doing it pretty easy, in my view.
Well, our concern with the RT was primarily that it's going to be difficult to get that hypercharge to begin with.
Yeah.
It's hard to hit those shots. The Poco is really wiggly. And then how do we see Elevate play? Well, they stack the Poco on a lane with the Shelly, don't even attempt to play mid. So they give up control of mid. Kenji's pretty much this lone satellite on the left side. He's going to be playing on the right now, and you will see Vegeta at mid just trying to play the skill matchup.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? That Earth is not even facing the Poco too much. He's just following the Kenji all around, so much easier to get feed, right? Kenji cannot really come into you. He's just running away, or she should run away from you, right? So it's a good pick for me.
RBM now the anchor, bringing the ball forward as this brawl shifts to the side of Elevate's goal. OG marked up for now, doesn't really want to risk getting too aggressive, and Ducky's attempting to get some damage here, but just not really doing so well. Look at the trigger discipline also from RBM. Knew to go for that attack when it was the right moment. You gotta be kidding me! It's like an anglerfish's lure. He just cannot stray away from the light. An excellent interception from OG, but not what we needed. What is going on, Ducky?
Yeah, that super was not the best decision from Ducky, right? I mean, it's really hard to make so much aggression. It's true that I have to say I was completely wrong with that RT. That RT is working really good. It's really easy to hold the pressure against these 2 aggros that you have in front. And this is going to be another goal, ready.
An easy walk-in. Diego Gamer really mathed that one out. Got dropped down to 300 HP on the goal line. And pretty much not a response at all from Elevate. It's as if they weren't even present there. I felt like Ducky, especially, was not present. We just didn't really see a whole lot of action from him. When it was there, it wasn't really too impressive. But generally, he found himself so estranged from the battle.
Kinda, yeah. I would have liked to see a bit more from the Shelly, to be honest. I said that Shelly had a pretty good matchup into all 3 of those brawlers, yet OG couldn't really reach them and go into close combat like a Shelly wants to do. RBM takes the star player twice in Hard Rock Mine and now also in Brawl Ball. I'm super excited for those stats because he was just roaming around on the field. I don't think he died very often either. Dropping his legs behind most often, and that's just how RBM likes to play. Like, even the RT, he just plays like a tank.
Yeah, this is basically how important it is to have a specialist right everywhere. No one, at least in EMEA, will bring that RT on, but probably you have a guy is called RBM in your team, right? He just said, nah, let me pick RT, I'm gonna cook. So yeah, that's what they do. Look at the damage. Even that damage from Mo is even crazier. So that means that was a really good team play from all of them to get this easy set.
Just want to mention here quickly, Diego Gamer was the one on the Mo with 8 kills, the most Luffy on Mina, and RBM on RT. Just again, the names are going to be fixed later on. And Mo actually takes the most kills here already.
Yeah, he's diving on top of that Poco pretty reliably. Poco can't do really anything about it. Mina also I saw diving that Poco, who's pretty defenseless in close range, doesn't have any CC. Was usually being followed around by Shelly, but was not offered really good opportunities to farm that super. As Shelly, you're playing as a tank counter. You can like kind of play it into other stuff, but generally that's not ideal. The objective here was to get a good Kenji game. That was not a good Kenji game. I saw more action out of literally everyone else and pretty much nothing out of Kenji. I saw brawlers is really what it was. And what Tribe was running was an actual composition. Where is it? Wake up, Elevate. You're down 2 sets right now.
What you have to keep in mind here also, we talk a lot about those new faces. They bring in some fresh winds, fresh ideas, but they're also playing their monthly finals for some of the first times in their lives. Ducky probably also a little bit nervous here. We're heading into Goldarm Gulch now. By now he's hopefully warmed up because Elevate needs to pull up their socks now and finally get a win on the board. RT is going to be first pick once more, and that's, I think, the most picked brawler on any knockout map we've seen on both weekends so far. Yeah,
this is not super bitch, right? This RT pick, don't surprise any of us. It's a really, really good sniper because you are already ready against aggro. You have a lot of range. Have a really good synergy with a Jhin or fatigue that all the time hitting the enemy, so they can hit your passive, which is that alarm on the head, right? It's a lot of damage, so it's a really good first pick. Then in front you have the Gas, which 1v1 is better, should win that RT, but overall in the map, the RT is more safe.
Gus has been selected so far for Elevate. Something to pair it up with is what's going to be coming in as the 6th selection. Their last selection on their team, Meeple, makes an appearance over here on Goldarm Gulch. He's going to be lacking in range, but at least he's going to be hitting his shots really reliably. Can deny aggression, has that box also that you can play around as a team. If it's like something kind of vulnerable versus throwers from Tribe Gaming, then you could also go with that. You know, box someone, get the thrower out. Like lots of different directions that you could go with the Meeple, but I'm erring on the side of this is an aggro last pick for Elevate that they can combo with the Gus.
Most likely. On the other side, Tribe already has the RT, can go aggro if needed. Frank's also open though, so that's a tank that I would look forward to on a map like this one. Squeak is going to come in, offers a lot of control, is also going to do well despite the Meeple gadget, I thought, to shut down these lanes. And if they don't want to break open the map, of course, Rico banned here, but the other version of Rico, Rust, would also still be an option here.
Yeah, I mean, that Meeple and Gas seems weak, right, at first look, but it's really interesting because now you are able to pick either a thrower, either a tank, either whatever. So Tribe need to be really careful with the last pick here. It's going to be an Oli. Oli's a decent brawler against throwers. It's also decent. You already have the RT to help him to deal with tanks. So it's a good pick. So now the last pick is more about the playstyle of Elevate, which is also not bad for them, right? They are open now to play whatever they feel like. And let's see what they come from.
They may feel compelled to play Buster here just because he's pretty good into Ollie, and you know, you can stick together as a squad. They're going to go Gray. Very interesting. Okay, a couple of supports here. You can break the walls that Ollie needs, so that's the mentality here, but RBM has faced this matchup gotta be countless times, so he can just stay away from those walls so they don't get broken.
Yeah, 2 supports and not that much damage from Meeple either. That's going to be super interesting from the side of Elevate. Let's see if this is the matchup that they finally can win. They need a win on the board to turn things around here so we can see a set 4.
I think that Gray was not what I would have to go for, right?
You said that about the R2 previously too. So let's
True, that's right. That's completely right. Yeah, when I'm wrong, I need to say it. I was wrong before. I apologize, chat. But I mean, they miss a lot of damage. They are gonna find really hard to get early kills here, right? You have a Tribe game with a lot of HP. You don't have so much instant damage either. And in late game, against an Oli, against an RT, you just need to hope any of them get super or hypercharge for late game, because if not, you are going to suffer so much at the late game.
Gotcha. Well, we can also draw some inferences about what's going to happen here, as looks like we've become just a bit disconnected, but we also have already drawn analyses like Ducky is going to be lacking damage. His job over here is going to be breaking open those walls. RBM, of course, accordingly, is staying away from him, just staying on the far side of those walls where he's still protected, but he's not at risk of getting hooked. Ducky on the bottom side also wants to get a super for free off of Luffy and Diego Gamer. It's just going to be easier to get them. Missed hook is not really a good look, especially because he's only going to get about one more chance before the poison appears.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to make. I'm trying to think how Elevate can make this work. It's really hard. They miss a lot of damage. They just look straight lane from RBM here, get one kill. Refer kill 1 by 1 though. They're going to miss a bit low. They get the kill on Meeple, and it's going to be an easy kill on Gat that is running out of the shield at this point.
Would have loved to have another shield there. Could have done some more damage in close range, but that's just not a winnable matchup for him in the 1v2. So Elevate now change up the lanes. They have Ducky on the left side. He's already revealed his position, unfortunately, but at least he does have the super. He can get some action and then get out of there. It'll be farming up his hypercharge. It'll be really useful. RBM with a move forward, and RBM's given 3 shots pretty much for free versus Ducky. Not really a good sight. You don't want to be feeding Ollie a hypercharge, and it's looking more and more likely that he will be able to get one by this round or the next.
Yeah, but RBM is feeding also at the same time when he's getting hit. So maybe they lose this one. No, I think that even on this they are not losing this one. Oh, they will? Will they? Can they are still trapped a bit top left? Maybe Luffy can pop off with that shoots. But no, it's going to be game. I mean, it's a round for them.
That's right. Really well executed also for Ducky. That makes it his 3rd super that he has earned so far. Now he just knows he can run it down. He doesn't have too much to fear in terms of DPS from the Ollie. It's just the CC with Ollie's super that he has to be concerned about. He's also running the star power that lets him take less damage on the first hit. So as long as he is on full HP and the star power hasn't been procced recently, then he should be fine.
I think that round was more RBM mistake, right? Because he was getting hit and not feeling healing at all. And at some point, if you get hit, you're gonna die, right? Especially when you are mid HP, then they're gonna pinch. You are not gonna be able at that point to heal, and you're gonna suffer a lot. So they just need to stay with enough HP for late game, and should be an easy win for Thrive.
Hypercharge available on the top side for Gray. Just creating some gradual pressure versus RBM would love another hook and a combo with Vegeta. Meanwhile, pay close attention to that hypercharge that Diego has. It's going to be crucial for when everything closes in. No rounds after this. Ducky has to kick things off, misses the first couple of shots. Now he's going to get hypnotized, moved over to the TP, but couldn't escape in time. The Blender Blades are out, and OG falls victim to the flurry of attacks from Tribe Gaming as they advance on to match point.
I mean, once you get the hypercharge on RT on late game, there's literally no room in the map to run away. When the storm is close enough, yes, either you get hit by the RT or either you get hit by the storm. I don't know what's better in that moment. And I don't see too many chances for Elevate to win this.
It's looking a little bleak for Elevate. They could get 3-0'd here. We'll see the initial hook from Ducky. That's a lot of wall break right there. But Vegeta, this lone vestige of the team, has gone so on the right side. Unlucky on the rollout. Tribe Gaming decided that they were going to stack this right side. They adapted quickly to fight that 3v1. It's pretty much already a round conceded by by Elevate. They can get some supercharge here, but they know that this one is over, and it looks like they're hightailing it towards the edge of the map, so they don't feed it anymore, just die to the poison instead.
Yeah, Elevate wanted to surprise a bit coming left, right? Double line on the left, so they can maybe get a sneak kill, but they forgot to check the right, right? Saying literally, Luffy thought the same, I'm gonna come right, no one is here, I'm gonna just push. I have the really good gadget at this point to slow gas, and they just triple pinch. And one is this type of map with this level of players, you get a kill, is really hard to do a 2v3.
Curtains, man, you just don't see it happen. Tribe Gaming have a lot of utility to work with. Elevate just a single Gray super, which he could use to get aggro. RBM staying a little bit further away from his team to tempt enemies. Looks like he ended up feeding a super to OG, so it's a suboptimal situation. OG can use this to penetrate the walls. It looks like Tribe Gaming did a pretty good job of covering their bases in this Ollie matchup. They also just have, of course, an excellent Ollie player, and Elevate didn't really respond to it at all. Like, they have some wall break, but no hard Ollie counter.
Yeah, I mean, Tribe is in a privileged position now, right? They are really close to hypercharge, which grant them the round for sure. And they got a round of advantage, so they just need to wait a bit, try to feed. If you kill me this time, don't worry, I will come later for that.
Here it comes. OG hypnotized despite the rage quit. RBM on low HP. Ducky's going to do his best to hit some shots. Hypercharge active. Teleported away. Didn't even want to give the chance to Tribe to defeat him themselves. That's the match right there. Tribe Gaming get it done easy. That's, by the way, what Diego Gamer looks like when he's not wearing a long sleeve.
I mean, that was a match that was really good to watch the first set, right? I really thought that this was going to be much closer, but the second set, and especially the third set, was literally a stomp from Tribe. They seems really, like, how could I tell it? Like, motivated, the hard work behind. We saw already how the Diego Gamer already fit so good in this team, and they came to win it all.
Diego Gamer even with the most kills on Brawl Ball. Despite all that though, RBM takes the star player 3 times in a row. This guy, an absolute menace. He did play more often than not his tanks, if you want to count RT as a tank. He had it all 3 times. And yeah, a little bit sad here that we won't see more from Elevate today. A very promising roster, I think. And we shouldn't think them away of this competition just yet. I think they're going to qualify next month again, and maybe they're going to make it a bit further. Maybe they don't have Tribe as their opponent in the quarterfinals.
Diego Gamer's inaugural match with Tribe Gaming in the books already. It's been a massively successful one already.